Hello and welcome along to our weekend racing preview in association with Ladbrokes. I'm David Jennings from the Racing Post and I'm delighted to be joined once again by, last week I called you the king of unlucky dating, but now I'm going to have to call you the king of Saturday tipping. Last Saturday, unbelievable.
Yes, the small...
Capri,
yeah.
Acclaim, and the horse in Gorham Park, what was that called?
Gymkhana.
You couldn't even spell it when you tipped it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Small sample size, granted, but hopefully we'll continue this week.
Are we going to be able to keep you with all these winners? That's the big question.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Brendan Duke, and this week we are honoured to have the man that bookies fear as much as anybody in Ireland. When they see this man coming, they're petrified. It's Racing Post expert, Mr. Gavin Lynch. How are you?
Good day, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. So we've got a cracking weekend of racing. Obviously, Ayr is called off, and did you have a tip for Ayr, did you?
Oh, the savage tip for Ayr.
What was it?
Open the window.
Open the window. But Ayr is called off, so we've no Ayr Gold Cup, but we have got some really good action. The Jumps is back at Navan. And Gavin, you love the Jumps. So we're going to kick off with our quick fire questions, as always. And Gavin, your question is, as soon as you love the Jumps so much, I want you to tell viewers to have one anti-post bet for the 2018 Cheltenham Festival. Just one.
It's only September Day, but can I give them two?
We'll allow you to.
Okay. One is Cause of Causes in the cross-country chase. He should be going for maybe 5 in a row at Cheltenham. He's won the Kimure, he's won the 4-miler. He also won the cross-country last year by 9 lengths. It's a level weights race. He's 5-1. I can't see many new horses coming into that bracket, so at 5-1 he's great value.
Okay, 5-1 he's not great value because it's miles away. But,
but
in your head he's great value. But give us something that, life-changing types of sums.
The other one's going to be Fiona in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle, and again she's 5-1, so maybe a double.
Okay, we'll let you have a double, yeah.
What's that?
2 5-1 shots. 29-1 double.
35-1, is it?
35-1, your maths is better than mine. Mr. Brendan Duke, your question is, last week you told us that you love nothing more than going out on a date with Lizzie Kelly. So the question this week is, who is the best female jockey, the most talented female jockey around, flat or jumps? And remember, Lizzie now watches this show.
Well, with all due respect to Lizzie, I think it is this is Nina Carberry, or Mrs. Nina in the Last, as she's affectionately known. So she would get my vote for
How
that.
brilliant was that Ballinrobe the other night? I was there, castmate.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What a girl she is. The brilliant Nina Carberry. So, in changing with tradition, we're going to kick off with Friday night at Dundalk because Gavin Lynch here is an expert on the sand. There's nothing this man does not know about all-weather racing in Ireland. So, Dundalk returns. It's a sign that the winter's in. Gavin Lynch, I want you to give viewers the best bet at Dundalk tonight.
Maybe my good brother in the first. He's around. He was bigger this morning. He was 7-1. I think he's around 4-1 now. But he won the race last year off 70. This year he runs off 66. He had the same preparation. He ran in Late Town. Last year he won in Late Town. This time he just got outstayed over 6 furlongs. He's drawn 3, Colin Keane. But off 66 he's good value at 4-1.
I have bad news for you.
What?
I tipped it in the Racing Post today.
Oh dear.
There you go, sure.
So we're like brothers.
Fools send them differ. Isn't that what they say? Mr. Brendan Duke, your best bet on the Dundalk card tonight?
Did you tip 6 Silver Lane in the Last?
I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll try and bookend the card with 6 Silver Lane.
Okay, what type of price?
I'd imagine he's about a 5-1 shot.
Okay. So there you go. There's a nice little double for you. 6 Silver Lane and my good brother at Dundalk tonight. So moving on to tomorrow, and obviously we've lost Ayr, but we've got Newbury and it's live on ITV. And the main race is the Group 2 Mill Reef Stakes at 250. And the betting with Ladbrokes at the moment, Invincible Army heads the betting 11-4. Enges at 4-1. I miss James Garfield. He's 130. You've got Nebo at 6-1, and my fancy Langsea at 7-1. It's 12-1 bar. Brendan Duke, what wins the Mill Reef?
I like James Garfield. I like your horse as well. I just didn't think the drop and trip was obvious. But I think that Aiken was a decent race, and he's a hardy, progressive 2-year-old. And I didn't think he'd be inconvenienced by the drop back and trip. I thought at the prices he was the bet.
James Garfield at 130 with Ladbrokes for Brendan Duke. The Mill Reef at Newbury, Gavin, what do you like?
I wouldn't be a huge UK racing.
Okay, we don't admit that though.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so, UK racing expert Gavin Lynch, what do you fancy the Mill Reef?
I actually had a quick look through it. I liked James Garfield. He was placed in Ascot over 5. He was then 4th in the Vintage Stakes at Goodwood. He then ran the last day over 7 furlongs on softer ground, whereas the step back to trip and 6 on good ground should suit. So, James Garfield as well. 2 votes.
I'm being absolutely ridiculed here with my Langsea tip, but I think Langsea wins 7-1. I think that's a cracking price. So moving, before we move on to Navan, and we have to get to Navan, jumping action back at Navan. Oh, happy days. Like at Nelson, the Newbury card?
I had a few actually. Scarlet Dragon in the 2:15 ran in a pretty hot race in Kempton the last day. Split.
Just nabbed on the line.
Yes, and split two very reliable horses. I thought in the context of this race that form stacked up pretty well. It's about 6-1. The 325 is a right good handicap, but I think tomorrow could be the day for Barocco.
Oh.
Seriously,
Oh.
seriously frustrating.
He's more unlucky than you.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
he is a very
Barocco.
he is a very frustrating beast. But there are two front runners in this race, so should be run at a good clip. He's definitely better than 89 horse if everything drops right, and he's 10-1. You can take a chance at that kind of a price, can't you?
Barocco, you can, but he finds trouble where Jesus wouldn't find trouble.
It's a fair point. But in the 4 o'clock, I was a little surprised that Jim Crowley went for Muthmere. I thought he had it all to do under the penalty, but Dane O'Neill gets the ride on Waddy. This could be perfect for Waddy because he has been making the run, but I'm not sure he's a front runner. I think there are a couple of stone front runners, a couple of the fastest sprinters in training in this race. He'd be able to sit in that second wave and maybe come through late and win.
There's going to be some pace early on there. Caspian Prince is in there. Wow.
Yes, and the horse of David.
Takeover.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. So it's going to be fast and furious. Gavin, you like that Nels at Newbury? No. We'll get on to the good stuff. Navan is back, my local track.
We're two Mead men.
We're two Mead men. Gavin is a neighbour of mine as well. And it's an interesting card, I suppose. We've got a couple of a nice beginner's chase, and I think I have found a good thing. Yes, I think I have. Moulin Avant in the 2:55. I think this horse will win and will develop into it's run in a hurdle race, but I think he'll develop into a really good novice chaser this season. Do you agree, Mr. Brendan Duke?
Yeah, it looks a good spot for him. Is he the highest rated horse in that race?
He's rated 137. He's £2 clear in ratings, yeah.
No, it looks a good spot, yeah. I'll row him with you, so.
Okay, but you've also found others on the Navan card.
Oh, I thought it was difficult. In the 3:30, I saw Far Island was up in trip first time blinkers. I thought he could be a price and could run well at a price.
Out in his own. Far Island. See what I did there? Yeah. Gavin, you've dissected this Navan card.
Yes.
You've been at it all night, all morning. You haven't spoke to your wife in hours.
Correct.
Let's make it worth it. What's going to win in Navan?
3 winners. Moulin Avant, as you mentioned, will win. It'll be even money or thereabouts, but it'll win. The second one is Faisal, belonging to Owen Doyle. It's rated 90 on the flat. It bolted up in Down Royal in May, only got £6 somehow, up to 110. I didn't back it the last day because I didn't think it had handled the softer ground in Gorham Park, but it did, and it won, and it battled well. Tomorrow it's in off 110 a handicap. If the ground is not heavy, if it's soft, it should win. And the other one is Swing Bridge. It's rated 99. It's up to 117 over fences, Gordon Elliott. It's not a brilliant jumper of a fence, it's only adequate, so going back to hurdles won't inconvenience.
Okay, doke. So we'll just go through them three again. Moulin Avant, Fizol, and Swing Bridge.
Yep.
Nice little tricksy for viewers there at Navan on Saturday. And don't forget Moulin Avant, 2:55. Stop what you're doing, back Moulin Avant. Moving on to Sunday at Naas. Mr. Brendan Duke. The day of reckoning has arrived. For those of you that don't know, this great man here is the son of the now legendary Mr. Brendan Duke of the same name, who trains Warm the Voice, who is one of 5 runners in the Beresford Stakes. And I went down to interview him last week. It's in the Racing Post on Sunday. You've got to read it. He is a fascinating character. You've obviously got some of the genes. Warm the Voice. Can he do it?
Probably not. This is probably a bridge too far, but he does have advantages in terms of experience, and he's very effective on deep ground. So maybe some of the horses with less experience, they might find it a bit of a rude awakening on Sunday. I could definitely see him running into 3 without being good enough. I'd say class will out. It usually does.
How are the family taking Daddy Duke being a celebrity? How is it going down?
No, it's fine. He's always been a celebrity in our house.
Isn't that lovely? I hope he's watching now. So if Warm the Voice isn't to win, what do you think he'll win?
Well, I'm not sure how strong that maiden was that Saxon Warrior won in the Curragh, but it was impossible not to be wowed. Wow, I was wowed. I like you, I was wowed. And I think he's a horse who could go a long way.
Okay, dokes. That's the 5 o'clock, the Beresford Stakes. Do you like anything in that, Gavin?
It has to be Saxon Warrior. He's the only horse I've backed for next year. I backed him to win Derby.
Did you?
Yep.
What price?
20s. Missed the 33s the next day, but the maiden in the Curragh, as you say, is not great. The form hasn't worked out that well, but you'd have to be impressed with the way he was held about the back, met slight interference, switched him out. So I think he looks the real deal, doesn't he?
Okay, Saxon Warrior. And we don't know the prices on this just yet, but what price would you back Saxon Warrior at?
Ryan Moore rides, so obviously he's going to be favoured. There's only 5 in it. I'd imagine, is he going to be 5-6 to 4 shot?
5-6 to 4? When you get off the stage.
even money.
He'd be about 1 to 2, I think.
No, not at all.
Well, we'll
Not
see.
at all.
We'll see. Okay, that's the 5 o'clock. It's a cracking card. We've got 4 group races at Naas on Sunday. And tickle your fancy in any of those, Gavin?
I thought Mary Tudor would probably be overpriced because of connections. Sizzling might be favourite, but I think I use one of your puns here. Mary Tudor has ran 2 magical races so far.
Oh, yeah, I like
Very
that,
good,
yeah.
Second and third to magical.
Mine are slightly better than that now.
Slightly.
Give me some credit. Jesus.
So I think Mary Tudor, she could be a price. She could be, say, 3 to 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think her form is rock solid. She's ran second over a mile, second over 7. Soft ground's no problem. It's 7 on Sunday, so the trip to ground is perfect.
Anything else you liked at Naas?
Anything else? Yeah, one other one that might be a price is Downforce.
Oh, that's mine.
Oh no.
Don't steal it on me.
See, we don't practice beforehand.
Go on, you go first and I'll try to make a better argument.
You tell me you won't win in a moment. Downforce, the last time got heavy ground was in April in Cork when it won by 12 lengths.
12 lengths. Won a 6 furlong race by 12 lengths. That's impossible.
And then it had 3 months off. It came back and ran 10 days ago in York and ran very well.
So unlucky.
Yeah, so 6 furlongs heavy ground. It's drawn wide, which is good in Naas when you get soft heavy ground. It's better to come down the middle of the track. So Downforce.
Yeah, I'm all over Downforce. It's quite clever what William McCreary has done here. He's avoided the middle of summer,
Yeah.
and he's campaigned Downforce for an autumn campaign. Gets a soft ground on Sunday. Gets stuck into Downforce. Brendan Duke, make a 3-in-a-row for Downforce, please.
Yes, I'm very excited, as you can see from my notes there. And also
I'm
Wisdom...
like Richard Whiteley here. No, who presents it now? Countdown.
Yeah, it's the guy from The Apprentice.
Oh yeah, Nick Hewer.
Well, what a shout. I'm also very excited about the wisdom of crowds because Mary Tudor, I think she wasn't suited by the dawdle that was the debutante at all. I think she'll win.
Nice bit of alliteration there, yeah.
Yeah. And then Wild Irish Rose, a filly getting all that weight in that ground. And I mean, what Renetti's going to show up. I thought Wild Irish Rose was a solid bet
It's
too.
going to be a mad race, that one.
Now, folks, all that's left to do now is reveal our best bets of the weekend. So, Gavin Lynch, if you're to only have one bet, which I'm sure you'll have many more, but if you're to only have one bet over the weekend, what would it be?
I'll wait to see what the ground is tomorrow in Navan, but Faisal once it's not heavy.
Faisal for Gavin Lynch. I'm going to take Moulin Avant in the 255 in Navan on Saturday. Mr. Brendan Duke?
325 Newbury, Barocco.
Barocco, 325 Newbury. Needs looking running. It's going to get one of these days.
Yes.
That's it from us, folks. I've been David Jennings from the Racing Post. He's been Gavin Lynch, our expert racing analysis from the Racing Post. And he's been Mr. Brendan Duke, just an expert in every department. Don't forget to join us every Friday for our Racing Weekend Preview.